Hey, here I am. I said I'd make a video. I probably could have prettied up a little bit. I know I look kind of haggard today, but anyways, I don't feel too haggard considering it's been 6 weeks since I had my stroke. I'm actually doing pretty good. I'm starting to get feeling back in my arm. This week I started feeling my foot again. There's a few spots on my arm I don't really feel it. You know, it's kind of like touching a cushion or something. But my hand just recently has been, it's moving, like gesturing somewhat when I talk without me even thinking about it. My leg starting to get some tinglies, and I guess that is a good sign. That started going on about 2 weeks ago. My therapist, my occupational therapist, had me do a vibrational treatment. Like I would hold on to a cane on one side and then take this hand and hold on and try to keep the cane on the spot. And the vibration, see, they can't give me electrodes, which I guess a lot of times they do that to get the brain to somehow connect with it, but by the vibration it made my muscles contract, and by I think the second day I was starting to feel like it was coming back, like I'd been sleeping on it, which was crazy because I had something that they called left side neglect, and it did for a little bit there get a lot worse, and it was because I really didn't realize that I was just not paying attention to the left side. And you know, I did a lot of things, you know, that I probably shouldn't have. You know, your left brain is kind of logic, you know. And, you know, like, went out and tried to mow my whole lawn and, you know, shit like that. And I ended up with bruises and you know, injuries and stuff on my left side because I wasn't even paying attention, you know, because it was just like, man, you know, drag it along, you know. And you don't realize that. And it was really interesting to find that last week, my therapist, and I go to speech therapy, occupational therapy, and physical therapy. They told me that coming in there as early as I have since the stroke is just like, you know, something they never see. A lot of people go a year or two even before they even go to any type of physical therapy. And, you know, I've already got like a little separation just because of the few weeks before I went to therapy. I was home trying to, you know, do shit, and my arm was like swinging around, and, you know, it kind of pulled it out of socket a little bit. Well, it's not a big deal to me because I don't really feel my shoulder that much. In fact, I don't feel a whole lot right here. And, you know, part of my face feels kind of funny. My vision's bad on this side. And I thought I was blind in this eye, but I'm not. It's just, it can only see when I'm, like, looking completely to the right, and I can see color and stuff, but really not enough to, you know, say I think I'm cool to drive right now, you know. It feels a lot like I'm coming out of some kind of a fog, to be honest with you. I don't remember a lot about the last 6 weeks. I still don't remember anything really in the hospital. A couple things when they sewed my central line in, I remember that. It hurt, and a couple incidents that are, you know, kind of not that pertinent. I kind of remember things after people remind me, but it's more like I've heard it before instead of I've experienced it. So that's kind of, you know, and I have kind of a vision of it in my head, but it's not like really having the experience. So, you know, that's different. But even 2 weeks ago, I couldn't have said 2 weeks ago because I wouldn't have had a clue. Time and stuff was way, I didn't know, you know, what year, what day. You know, it's kind of cool. I didn't know who the president was for a minute, but then I figured it out, and it, you know, kind of was a setback. But, you know, but seriously, this therapy, I would recommend it to anyone that's had a stroke. Even if you think you're doing good, if you just had a TIA or whatever, I go 3 hours a day, 3 days a week. And, you know, what I thought what I was doing the best in was really, you know, wasn't that great, and that was speech. And because speech therapy encompasses far more than talking. It's being able to concentrate. It's being able to recognize something called brain fatigue, which has to do with, you know, what you're processing visually and expressing, and there's a lot that goes into that. Just visually to process takes up a great majority of your brain, your consciousness. And last weekend I painted for hours, and I woke up the next day and I really thought that I'd had like another stroke. I felt that bad. My leg didn't want to work, my arm was aching, which is a good thing, even though, you know, but I just didn't feel good, and dizzy, headache. And my doctor, or not my doctor, but my therapist, my speech therapist, told me, you know, it takes so much to do that, and it would help to set reminders to myself to, like, you know, do something maybe a couple hours, and then, you know, get up and leave it, see if I'm really tired or whatever, you know, because, I mean, I can zone out for hours, but I didn't realize the effort that takes, brain-wise. So then I was having a really hard time working on the other physical part, because I was concentrating so much on, you know, like, well, basically your right brain's your creative brain, and that's the part that's injured, so it's taken away from what I need to repair on this side. So, I mean, it made sense to me, which, you know, anything made sense to me for like 5 minutes, and then I was totally lost it, but that's changing. I know what day it is, and you can test me, it's Saturday, and I hope the hell it really is, but yeah, and it's, you know, all that stuff is coming back. I'm really grateful for it, and I can honestly say I mean, I think that when people have strokes, immediately they should start in the hospital treatments like 3 or 4 times a day, you know, with this vibration or something to get their brain to connect. Okay, I also think that it would be really beneficial to have them do something creative with the rest of the time, because you still, you're gonna repair things by using them too. So it's good to have creativity, because if you have a right brain, and honestly I found that I didn't actually have what they call like a stroke on my right brain. I had a brain stem stroke, and it deprived my brain on the right side of oxygen. And so that, you know, they also don't believe it came off my heart. They believe that it came off of probably the vein in my groin. I had a large hematoma after my my heart catheterization. So, but yeah, I found this out later. But at any rate, if your right side's affected, I mean, creativity is a good way to bring it back. You know, if you leave it, and then with left side neglect, I could see where that would be depressing, because your right brain just, you know, wants to give up because it's not being productive. And the more it gives up, the more the left brain is going to take over. And of course they control each other's sides. So, you know, it doesn't, I don't know. Anyways, see, I do get kind of off into things, but, you know, that could be for a number of reasons besides the stroke, you know. But, I just wanted to say, though, that, you know, I feel very fortunate that I was able to go to therapy, and I feel like I'm coming back to my old self. I'll deal with the vision thing as it comes, you know. I've had eye problems before, and I've known that maybe there's a possibility that I won't be able to drive at some point, and maybe I'll accept that. But for right now, I'm going to try to work on things that help me be able to see a little bit better. And no, I'm not driving now. I won't do that. But things are coming along pretty good. Physically, I can walk. I have a AFO. I don't use a cane anymore. My hand is starting to come back. It feels like it's kind of asleep, but I can make it do just about anything. It's not real get this as strong a grip, you know, and sometimes I do better when I'm looking at it. Sometimes that makes it harder. So I just, you know, do the best I can to work it the best I can. And same thing with my leg. As much as I can, I try to exercise it without getting hurt. I feel most of what's going on with my leg, but it's not the same kind of sensation as you would normally have. I've pinched my leg and hurt it a few times and didn't realize it until later, and ended up with a great big bruise, you know. So there's a few things that are, you know, I guess that might be a plus, you know, because that thing must have hurt, but, you know, it wasn't me. So, but like I said, it's getting way better, and thanks everybody. You know, I might not even play this thing. It's kind of long, and I'm really looking old and haggard in it, so I might have to throw some teeth in next time. But thanks a lot.